Hello, everyone. Warmest welcomes to the Holy Comforter Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm Jimmy Abbott, the priest at Holy Comforter Episcopal Church in Spring, Texas. And like I do every week, I have some thoughts and reflections for you here on YouTube about the gospel lesson for this upcoming Sunday, July 19th, 2020. How is it July? Ugh. Anyway, the gospel lesson is taken from the 13th chapter of Matthew, verses 24 through 30 and 36 through 43. It's kind of a chop up from last week when we heard the parable of the sower and its explanation. Now we get the parable of the wheat and the weeds and its explanation. Anyway, this is one of these tough parables. This is one of those classically notorious parables for preachers that we oftentimes try to skirt around because it doesn't feel on its surface like the God of love that we know. Let me just read here the end of the parable of the wheat and the weeds. Remember, there is wheat and weeds growing together, and the owner of the field says to the hired hands, we'll just rip out the wheat and the weeds at the same time, harvest them at the same time, and throw the weeds in the fire while you harvest the wheat, because that will be like evil and sin and getting burned and the righteous being harvested. Ooh. This is the tricky line here. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they will collect out of his kingdom all causes of sin and all evildoers, and they will throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And as they used to say, teeth will be provided. Anyway, I actually think, call me crazy, I actually think this is one of the ways that we know, that we trust, that we have confidence that God truly loves the world. Now follow me here. God notices the evil. God notices the sin. God notices all of that hardness of heart, all that corruption, all of that evil that is in the world, growing together with the good. And God notices it, and God promises on one day, the last day, at the resurrection, to take care of it. That there will be a reckoning. So think about it. In the world today, we look around and we see evil everywhere. And one of my hopes, my great trust in God, is that God also sees it and notices it and won't let it go without recompense, without some sort of comeuppance for all of that evil. I mean, think about some of those names that we know, those names from history that are just so evil. Bobby Yar, Srebrenica, Colfax, Louisiana. If you don't know what those are, Google them, and you will see evil right there. And to me, that gives me hope that God has noticed all of that evil, and that one day, on the last day, God will take care of it. Of course, this also can be spun back around. The good and the evil live right here in our own hearts. I mean, you know that, right? I mean, you know that good and evil live together in your own heart. And the promise here is that one day, God will sort all of that out, and God will purge that evil from us and harvest for the good. So here's what I want you to reflect upon this week. What are some of those evils, injustices, the corruption and oppression that you see out in the world, and how is it that you hope God will notice it and take care of it? And second, what are some of the evil, injustices, corruption, and oppression that live right here in yourself? And do you have the courage to ask God to purge you of it and to let the good part that is growing grow in greater abundance? Anyway, it's a tough lesson, but I think that it gives us an insight into just how much God truly loves the world. You can send me an email, jimmy@holycomforterspring.org. You can leave a comment here in the video. I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get all of the links to our online worship services, and of course to these YouTube Bible studies, and everything that we are doing here online at Holy Comforter during this COVID-19 pandemic and this time of our social distancing. Thank you.